So my name's Lucas Weakley. I'm 20 years old and I'm originally from Ocala, but I'm going to school in Daytona Beach. Okay, so I'm at Embry-Riddle as a student. I am working on my aerospace engineering degree. So I'm doing an aeronautical track. So I'm going to be designing airplanes and hopefully get into the market of experimental aircraft. Well, I've always wanted to fly and I've been working towards a pilot's license, but something in between that I can do during college, I was looking for something that I could actually do without spending too much money. And so I had looked online to see paramotoring videos and thought it was really cool. And so I started looking for schools and I found a couple, but they really weren't that professional in my opinion. And so then I eventually found Aviator PPG, and it looked expensive, but definitely worth it for what I've been experiencing so far. Yeah, so right when I got here, James took me out and we went kiting with the speed wing. And so we got to practice like how to take up the glider, how to bring it back down, and then doing some forward launches and hitting the tip on the ground and just general control over the glider. And that was basically the first day, and then we went out flying and I kited a bigger glider in this slower wind, which was fun, and then got to watch some other guys fly. And at that point I was like, kiting the glider and then seeing this, and I was like, I don't really know if I can do this, like watching the guys flying. But the next couple of days we started going through some more simulators. We got to do the motor simulator where I was on the swing set, got to feel what it felt like to be in the motor and what it would feel like when I was actually flying, the angles that I was going to be at and the power settings too, and then practicing landings and takeoffs with that. And then also feeling just how powerful the motor was by standing up and leaning against it so I could see how I was going to run with it. And then the next day we did some towing, and so I got to feel like the power and like how fast I would go up once I had the power on, and then also how to practice landings. I did that like 7 times and it was so much fun. And after that point, and I had done kiting in between those events, and after that point I was much more comfortable, and I knew the guys were going to tell me that I was going to be flying the next morning, and I was ready for it. It wasn't actually that bad, and once you get off the ground for the first time and get up to altitude, then the nerves start to go away, and it was a ton of fun. First flight, got to altitude and did some turns to go around the backfield next to the airport, and then brought it in for a landing. And then the second flight, I was really anxious. I wanted to get back up there because it was so much fun. And I putted around, the winds were picking up, so it was a little bit turbulent, which like that made me nervous a little bit, but it was fine after you got used to it. But it was basically me flying downwind at a higher altitude so I wouldn't like go down any considerable distance and get too close to the ground, and then I would turn around and get back upwind. I could stow the brakes and then let off the power a little bit and get down to like 50 feet and see all the cows and everything on the ground. It was so cool, and all the fog too. And there was one little kind of like a little pond or body of water that I was flying over upwind, and I looked down, like straight down, and I could see my reflection in it. And that was when, like, the first time I looked at the glider actually, because I didn't even think to look at it. It was farther back than I expected, but I mean, it's like a lawn chair in the sky. It's so much fun. I just want to use it as a way to get up in the air and have fun. I've gone flying a lot in airplanes, just having friends who have airplanes, and I always say to them that like it sucks being on the ground after you go flying. Everything looks so much cooler. It all looks like a giant, like super detailed model, and that's like the coolest feeling in the world. Well, I think the school is great. I think the biggest challenge that I had was just the nerves of getting over everything, and I think the simulators that Aviation PPG offers is incredible, and it got me over all my fears before I got into the flying for the first time, and I wasn't anxious at all for it. So other than that, like the people that are here are so much fun. We have a lot of fun in the downtime between flying, and then when we actually get up into the air, they're really professional and serious and get the job done and don't feel any lack of safety or it's awesome.
Yes! Want to go again?
Fantastic, son.
Yeah?
Congratulations.
I had a feeling you might want to go again.
Yep.
I mean, if you want the best training. I mean, it's going to cost you, but it's so worth it coming here and going through all the simulators and having the people on the ground that are telling you exactly what to do, and so you're never worried about doing something wrong. It's fantastic.